In surplus funds, it really comes down to making calls. But the thing is, most people don't have time to make calls, and we've all tried foreign cold callers. It just simply doesn't work. In today's lesson, I'm going to explain to you guys how you can actually use American cold callers at a very price effective rate. Something that's not going to break your bank, but is actually going to produce results so that you can close deals. Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, Money Making Juggernaut. I'm your host, Eric Richardson, the #1 educator in the asset recovery business. Today, I want to talk to you guys about American cold callers. That's right. If you guys have been interested in having somebody else make calls for you, you're on the correct path. See, in this business, there's leads. Anybody can come about leads. Anybody can perform a simple Google search, find a list of excess proceeds. Anybody can track sales and find results that lead to actual surplus funds. But not everybody actually markets. And one of the most fundamental aspects of this business is making calls. Now, there's some people who are honestly petrified to make calls. They have analysis paralysis, they do all this research, and they have fear of making calls. That's fine, it's normal. But eventually, you're gonna have to make calls. But some people have jobs, some people don't have time, they're simply busy, and they would rather hire somebody to do that. But what we all run into is not having the funds to actually do it. Think about it. Most American callers are going to be between $15 to about $25 an hour, and they're looking for a full-time employment. They're not just going to work a couple of hours and bang out some calls for you. They're going to want to have at least 30 to 40 hours per week. Well, if you're paying anywhere between $15 to $25 an hour, that's really going to cost you on employment, and you don't necessarily know if it's going to deliver actual results. So that is a risk that not many people are willing to take. Well, I have the solution for you guys. American cold callers at $17 an hour, but they will work for you 3 hours a day. All right, so I've built a relationship. I've recruited some American cold callers. I've trained them on what to do in this business, and they're willing to work for you for just 15 hours a week. It comes out to $255 a week, where they're going to be banging out calls Monday through Friday for 3 hours for you per day. As you guys know, in this industry, it doesn't take many hours to actually be successful. I always say you honestly only need 2 to 3 hours. And in 3 hours, you can bang out a lot of calls, but you have to know exactly what you're doing. Now, the reason why this structure is going to work and bear results at $255 a week, for starters, you're going to make sure that all clients and relatives get hit. You're no longer guessing and being afraid, not knowing what to say, not knowing what to do, or even having the will to want to do it. Your callers are literally your employees, so they're going to do exactly what's required. They're going to stick to their principles. They're going to make their call. And to be honest, this hierarchy structure is amazing. There's no pressure on them. They're not looking to try to close. They're just looking to inform somebody of the surplus and simply get their email address so that you can step in and close the deal. Now, on your end, you're now dealing with warm leads. You don't have cold leads where you have to call and be nervous and be afraid. You already have somebody that's interested and the deal is vetted. So this is in your benefit. That $255 payment each week is going to bear results, and you're going to get yourself in position to actually win. Now, there are some requirements to get these callers. So let's go ahead and hop into my computer so I can show you guys what that entails. All right, guys. So the American cold callers are finally here. I've spent weeks training a fully American-based staff that can make calls with you guys. And the benefits are these are going to be inexpensive callers that don't have an accent. They're American callers. They speak English. You don't have to have a foreign caller that has an accent. As you guys know, in this industry, it already sounds too good to be true and like it could be a scam because we're telling people about money that they have no idea about. Well, by using an American caller, you're going to immediately gain the trust and be able to handle responses from the clients. Now, let me go ahead and break down what's included with these American cold callers that's going to change your surplus funds business. They're going to make calls, all right, between 100 to 250 dials per day. All right, so this is huge, guys. If you've been afraid to make calls, if you just didn't have the time to make calls, maybe you got a job, maybe you got some kids, maybe you just don't have the time to go go ahead and fully commit to this business, this is what you need. Because as you guys know, this business just requires effort. That's literally all it takes. It's a very simple system. You find leads, you market them, you close them. Well, we can find leads all day. Not many people are marketing because they're afraid to actually make the calls or just do something in general. This is why this is going to put you guys in a great position. All right. They're also going to handle inbound calls. All right. So you guys are going to be making outbound calls. Well, guess what? People are going to be calling you back. If you're sending out mailers, people are going to be calling you. If you're sending out text messages, people are going to be calling you. All right. They're going to handle your inbound calls. They're also going to follow up on leads. If we're sending out blast text messages and the client responds, what are you talking about? What is this? I'm interested, blah, 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 saying all this stuff. Guess what? Now they can go ahead and call them. They're going to cold call daily leads, clients and relatives. To be successful in this business, you can't just call clients. You have to call relatives. They could potentially get you in contact with the client, or the contact might actually be deceased and the relative can get you a claim submitted. All right, so they're going to cold call them. Now, this is how it's going to work. Each valid number is going to get 4 calls. All right, they're going to make their initial call. If that number does not answer and it's a valid phone number, meaning we can leave a voicemail or we can actually continue to call them, they're going to go into a follow-up chain. All right, so then they're going to get the second call the next day. Well, if they don't answer that day, then the final day, they're going to get what's called a double tap. All right, so they're going to get 2 calls in a row. So by us calling them 4 times, sending text messages as well, this puts us in a high position to actually get a response. Most people cold call the incorrect way. They just call one time and go to the next client or next relative. Well, what are the odds of the client actually picking up to a number that they don't recognize on the first attempt? You have to continue to call. So by adding a caller and sending text messages, you're already putting yourself in an extremely high position to actually get a response, because we're in a cold approach industry. They're also going to respond to people in the CRM, responds to people in the CRM, okay? If we're sending out text messages, people are going to text back, things of that nature, and also call back in. Their goal, no pressure, their goal is to just strictly inform the client of the surplus, get their email address so that you can send over proof and close. This makes it super simple. You now get warm leads. They don't have any pressure because they're not trying to close. They're simply informing the client and then just gathering a good email or scheduling a notary or scheduling a call, whatever you want. There's no pressure on them, and now you have a hierarchy to your business. It's much easier to operate this way. So let's break down the cost associated with this. There is a setup fee of $250. You must have Excess Elite. You can have the CRM only, you can have Florida Nation, whatever it is. You just need CRM because that's, you need Excess Elite because that's where the calls are going to get made. You have to have a CRM manager. All right. If you don't have one, you can get one. We partner with Expertise Outsourcing at $5 an hour, fully trained. They're going to pull leads for you on a daily basis. They're going to import it in the CRM. They're going to apply marketing taxes, send out text messages, and they're going to load up the power dialer for your caller. In order for us to call and send text in the CRM, you must be A2P approved, your phone number. If you don't have that, we can assist you with that. Now, the weekly costs are very minimal, all right? Like I said, if you guys want American callers, typically they're gonna wanna work between 35 to 40 hours a week at $15 to $25 an hour. And guess what? That's a lot of money. Well, these callers are just gonna work for you at 3 hours each day, all right? They're gonna be able to bang out and be productive in 3 hours. You don't need them for a full 8-9 hour shift. You just need them to make their dials, make their calls, make their follow-ups in a certain time frame. 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, 15 hours, comes out to $255 a week. You can cancel at any week you want, but this will increase your productivity. If you guys want these callers, spaces are limited, all right? So I trained a handful of callers that know what to do, that know their goal is to get that email address. They know how to follow up. They know how to handle rebuttals, and they have no accent, all right? They're American callers. So go ahead and hop on it. If you've been waiting to just really attack this business, all it takes is effort. That's all you have to do, and you're gonna see some results.